This story begins as stories of this nature typically do. I know I wrote this down somewhere. Where the looking for my script. Here's a script about something completely irrelevant. Yeah, I thought I had the script, and I did, but this is just part of it. I have the bullet points of all of the points I want to make here, and I found bullet points for a different video idea. Wait. It's somewhere in here. Let's see, this is it. No, I cannot find my script. I wrote a script for this video, a real, actual script, and somehow, in the last couple of days, I have misplaced it. I'm not getting dressed for this video again. I don't think you understand. I don't think you comprehend how freaking hot this setup is. It is 80 degrees outside. I have a fan running and a giant light on my face and like 20 layers of clothing on right now. We're just going scriptless, much like the gameplay of Balan Wonderworld itself. Oh wow, this is really gonna be a banger. An absolute goat of a video. I found part of my script. It looks like I wrote parts of the script down on multiple different pads of paper and Word documents. Our story begins the way modern stories typically do. Are you kidding me? Oh, it's my bedtime.
It's 6 p.m., baby.
Fantastic.
Time to sleep! Self-enforced bedtime. I get 8 hours of sleep every single night. I'm an adult.
No, I am staying up past my bedtime. Our story begins the way modern stories typically do, at GameStop. I was perusing the bargain bin of used and abused titles when I was approached by a local autist. As a general rule, autists have some kind of superpower that allows them to sniff out incredible games that nobody has ever heard of. So when this gentleman pointed at Balan Wonderworld and told me it was an underrated visionary masterpiece, I believed him. I shouldn't have, but I believed him. Flash forward a couple months, one of my friends comes over. For this video, I'm gonna call him ASimpleMan. Veterans of this channel would recognize him best as the voice of Kirky Eyes in some of my shitpost videos. I invited him over and said, hey, would you like to play this game? I whip out this bad boy. He looked at me, looked at the game, and then looked back at me and said, you want to play Balan Wonderworld? He blinked at me furiously, like, in disbelief, and said, okay. I didn't understand why he was reacting that way. Shortly into our gameplay, I got a couple messages on Discord. Are you actually playing Balan Wonderworld? And it came to my attention that nobody's actually played this game. It's my duty as a shitposter with a platform and limited video game skills to enlighten the masses and share the wonder world that is Balan. My God. My first section in my notes is plot premise. Okay, I'll be real. I have no clue what is happening in this game. As of me recording this right now, my friend and I have not beat the boss yet. So I don't know if more is revealed after the final boss fight. If it is, I will include that later in this video. If not, who knows? But right before the final boss fight, neither of us have any idea what's going on. The game is titled Balan Wonderworld. You do not actually play as Balan. Balan is barely in the game. You get to kind of see Balan. He's in cutscenes, but he doesn't actually do anything. He basically kidnaps these children, takes them into his purgatory, and then Balan's off, as you do. You have an option of picking like one of 6 different kids. It doesn't matter which one you pick. I don't think that changes the story whatsoever. We picked the kid that looks like Axel from Kingdom Hearts. Our protagonist doesn't have friends and wanders into Balan's hellscape because of this. In Balan's hellscape, our protagonist gets the opportunity to enter the mindscapes of a bunch of different people and help them work out their problems. Pretty straightforward, right? But some of the problems that need helping with aren't actually problems, and let me explain why. So the first NPCs whose mindscape we the player explore is this farmer. The farmer's problem is that a tornado came and destroyed all of his crops, and he's very upset about that. However, that's not an actual problem that needs resolving. Essentially, it's already happened. Like, he just needs to, I don't know, get government funding to help. I'm not entirely sure. But somehow or another, the game wants us to think that by entering this man's mindscape and making him less pissed off about the fact that a tornado destroyed his crops, we are doing something of value, which is not the case. We did jack shit. So you explore an NPC's mindscape, wander around for a bit. At the end of the little area, you get to fight that character, right? So there's 3 levels. The first 2 are like standard platformers, and I say platformers in quotation marks because this is not a platformer. This is a travesty. So there are 2 platformer levels, and then there's one level where you fight the boss, which is the character whose mindscape you have been in. So the first one, Farmer, he dons his persona, and Axel beats him up, as you do, and then they do a little dance. Why they do a little dance? I don't know, but they do a little dance.
But damn, how you feel? I'm in my boots out in the field. My family hungry, gotta get a meal.
There's a lot of little dancing in this game. The second area you explore, and this one's a real doozy, I promise you, I won't go into every single area of the game like this. There are 12 of them in total. It's too much. But the second area, the problem is that this scuba diver, we'll call her Diva, because I can't be asked to look up her official name. So Diva is struggling with the fact that she is a dolphin trainer, scuba diver, marine biologist-esque person who works with dolphins, right? And the dolphin that she works with tried to kill her. Oh, it's very, very heavily implied that she's in some type of romantic relationship with this dolphin. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't feel good about it. It's not a good feeling. Diva's in some type of abusive relationship with this dolphin, and she gets hospitalized. She rips her photo of her and the dolphin, and that should be the end of it. They broke up, she's out of the abusive relationship, yippee-yay. Unfortunately, that's not the end of it. The solution to this problem, that her abusive dolphin ex tried to murder her, is Axel and whoever player 2 is beat the crap out of this woman. They do a little dance. Then she gets back with her abusive dolphin ex. Fuck.
Getting back with my abusive dolphin ex.
What? What? Literally, what? I don't understand. It's a lot. You go through 12 of these little mindscapes, fight 12 different bosses, all of them have issues. After going through all of these mindscapes, you fight this dude. You know how when you get a new pair of shoes and they come with those little packets of things that say do not eat, but you really, really want to eat them? So instead of actually eating them and potentially poisoning yourself, you absorb them anally, but the flavor is a little bit more unappetizing because that's not the way it was intended to be consumed. That's what it feels like to play critically acclaimed Balan Wonderworld, mechanically. It's a mess. I'm just going to go through all of the things that made this game a real fun game to play. So we played it in 2-player mode. I don't know if this is a glitch in the game. I do not know if this is intentional. I'm not entirely sure. But like a lot of games that have sibling modes where if you have a younger sibling that sucks and mom said you have to play with them even though they're god awful, you don't really want them to mess up your gameplay, so you pick them up and you carry them for the entirety of the game. Yeah, so this has a carry mode that's, I think, supposed to mechanically work like that, but unfortunately it doesn't. So instead of it being that player 1 is picking up player 2 and just carrying them around the whole level, you basically fused, so both characters are using the same controls, but instead of only one person being able to control them, it's like two people trying to drive the same car. This is a impossible game to play with a younger sibling. We barely made it out with our lives. You cannot double jump in this game without player 2. It is impossible to double jump with one player unless you have 2 people playing. While both of you are in control of the same character, you time your jump so that one person hits the button and then the other person hits the button right after the first person, but not at the same time because that'll mess up the double jump. That is the only way to double jump in this game. You really have to have really good teamwork to actually play this game with somebody and not be at their throat by the end of it. It's that kind of game.
You're such a dick!
The day I wake up and I hope you're dead.
What makes the carrying mode even more fun is that there's not a shortcut that you push on the controls to activate it. All you have to do is walk close enough to the other player on the screen, and then you automatically, like magnets, combine. The only way to get out of carrying mode is by having both people on both controllers at the same time pushing the little Joy-Con in opposite walking directions so that you're actively walking away from each other. If only one person tries to walk away, you'll both just shadow each other over here. So the only way to get out of 2-player or carry mode is to actively have both people trying to do it. It is insane. On the back of the game, it advertises over 80 costumes. This is a lie. Yes, they're called costumes, but mechanically, they're just abilities. So in Kirby, you know how Kirby puts on a hat and has a different power? That's basically how the costumes work. Every area has like 6 or 7 different costumes that you get to equip. Each costume gives the player one singular ability. The ability is activated with the same button you use to jump. So let's say you have an ability that lets you attack and you're platforming. You cannot jump with the attack costume equipped. So the only way to jump and attack at the same time is to have 2 players playing and have one of them having the attack button, the attack ability, and the other one just not. And you can't attack without a costume. So I've divided the costumes into 3 different categories. There are movement costumes, combat costumes, and interaction costumes. The movement abilities are the best ones in the game. If you can get a movement ability, regardless of what it is, you could probably beat any boss. Then there are the combat abilities. Those suck. You cannot jump or dodge or do anything like that with the combat ability equipped. And last but not least are the interaction abilities. I would like to take a moment to spotlight the worst costume in this entire game. Fox Box. It allows the wearer to transform into an invincible box when it feels like it! You have no control of the player character when in box form, so good luck. And an honorable mention goes to whatever the hell this ability is called. I mentioned that there's a total of 12 levels, right? Or 12 areas in total. The way that you get all 12 areas is you have to collect a certain amount of these gold Balan trophies throughout the whole game. Were we not playing it on 2-player mode with the ability to double jump, it would have been an absolute nightmare to get all of those trophies. It was hard to get them, and there's some that we managed to get by just screwing up. Some of the maps are just so poorly done that they just have platforms that look like they lead to something, but they're not. And likewise, there are some hidden areas that if you adjust the camera and look a certain way, you can see them. And if you have an ability that lets you hover, you can just go down, get it, and then come back up. And that's essentially how we got most of our, the trophies so we could progress in the game. The correct way to go about this is to change costumes, find the specific one that the game expects you to play out of over 80 different costumes, get that bad boy equipped, and then finish the puzzle that way. The only way to have the costume to use on another level is by getting more than one of them. Okay, it's editor Evilicious, and I would like to clarify that this mechanic is different for player 1 and player 2. Player 2 has to have 3 or more. Player 1 actually gets to keep all costumes that they have equipped upon leaving the level. So you have, in the top, you have your little character, which has 3 little slots for costumes. You have to get 3 costumes, and then any extra costumes you have goes to your closet, which you can access on every level. This seems pretty cool in theory. However, it sucks, especially with the boss battle at the end. Don't get me started on that. If you run out of costumes in your little closet, you have to go back and replay a previous level to get that costume. A lot of games, when you leave a level to save or whatever, and you restart the game, it'll start you at the last save point. And Balan Wonderworld uses this mechanic, but it uses it in the worst way possible. Remember how I said you have to go back to previous levels to get items? You can only play every level twice. You're only supposed to play every level twice. The reason I know this is because the first time you finish the level, you get the completion prize at the end of it, right? The second time you finish the level, you get some rainbow gem things. Cool. The third time you try to start the level, you respawn from your last save point, which in most cases is the end of the level. So if you try to replay a level more than twice, you will respawn at the end of it because that's the final save point. What makes this terrible is there are some levels that have water that only goes one way, or some snowball that you get on top of or whatever that only goes one way to the end of the level. So if you start at the end of the level, you cannot get back to the beginning because it requires you to go against a store to get there. So if you need one of the costumes that was at the beginning of that level, or just any costume that's in that level, and you don't have any way to access it if you've already completed the level twice. Breed me, daddy. This game has these little guys called Tims. I don't know what they are. I don't know what they're supposed to represent, but I love them. They are fantastic. Easily the best aspect of this game. Every time you finish a level, you get sent back to this Isle of Tims, where these puffy little fellas are just having a good old time. They're rolling around, they're just vibing, and it's amazing. You're building this Tower of Tims. I don't entirely know what the purpose of it is, but these little guys love it, and I'm happy for them. All of the little gems that you collect, you go back to your Isle of Tims and you feed the Tims and they get big and fat. I could spend all day with these guys. Whenever you go through a level, some of these little guys will just follow you around, and it's so cute. It's genuinely the most enjoyable aspect of this game. When you get to the end of the level, if you somehow left your Tims behind, the game won't let you progress. This is not something the game explicitly tells you. This is something you have to figure out yourself. Another thing the game doesn't explicitly tell you, that if you stand on the save points and hold down, I think either just stand on it for extended period or hold the down button, you'll have access to your closet with all your costumes in it. That was something that would have been really nice if the game told us, but it didn't. Also, while we were opening the closet, the game just broke multiple times. Just flat out broke, and we had to restart the entire PlayStation 4. Balan Wonderworld crashed my PlayStation 4. Speaking of crashing the PlayStation 4, this is like, again, I'm an amateur gamer. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I don't understand a lot of hardware like things, but I do understand that when my PlayStation starts, when the fan starts going and it sounds like it's about to take off, it's doing a lot of hard work. This game made my PlayStation work harder than Nier Automata and Devil May Cry. Like, fucking Balan Wonderworld both made my PlayStation crash and made it sound like it was about to take off and fly into space. From my understanding, this game is just so poorly optimized. When you're playing a game, things that are far away, the closer you get to things, they have to take a moment to load, and then they become quality. But the things that are further away in the screen that you can't exactly see are lower quality, so that it doesn't use up more RAM, right? So this game is a little bit special in that when you boot up a level, right, the things that are far away are in fact low quality. But when you walk up to them, they become high quality. But the things that you previously passed don't go back to being the low quality preview. So when you're at the end of a Balan Wonderworld level, the things that are immediately in your line of vision aren't the only things that are high quality. Every other part of that level that you previously traversed is also high quality, which means that by the time you get to the end of the level, the lag is so insane that it's borderline impossible to play in certain areas. The get around to this is dying. When you die, you respawn at the previous save point, and that resets the whole area, so everything's low quality again. I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's very poorly optimized. While you're traveling through these levels, you want to collect all these Balan trophies, but some of the trophies aren't actually trophies of Balan, they're his hat, right? And you pick up that hat, and you enter this area called Balan's Bout, where you get to play as Balan, but not really, because it's a rhythm game. ASimpleMan pointed out that the firefighter area has the Ghostbusters theme in it. Just a funny coinkydink. Yeah. What really gets me, what really grinds my gears, they de-yassified young Xehanort's theme. Okay, so I think the worst thing about this game is that some of the character designs, or actually a lot of the character designs, the art, just really good. And it makes me feel so bad that, like, look at this. So crisp, so solid, and it's in such a shitty game. The cutscenes are just really well done. The fact that we have no idea what the context of any of this is. We have one scene at the very beginning of the game that has actual dialogue, and after that, the game is essentially silent. There's no talking. Also, the sound design. Usually when they have video games, they have one track is the talking, and another track is the music in the background, and then they have a third track that's the sound effects. Sometimes the track with the sound effects and the talking is the same track, but I discovered when trying to turn the audio off, the background music off, so I could just have the grunting sound effects for shitpost purposes, I discovered that all of the audio is on the same track. Okay, so the area with the Isle of Tims that has all of the little, all of the levels are not in chronological order. They are not in any particular order whatsoever. They're just there randomly. I told you that there really wasn't a plot to this game, and I didn't lie, there wasn't. You're just walking around somebody's mindscape, and this guy shows up. And this guy is like goth Balan. Okay, so while editing this, I noticed that he shows up for a fraction of a second T-posing every time he appears in a level. I don't know what went wrong, but holy crud. So he shows up, and my friend looks at him, looks at me, and points at the screen and says, "Oh my God, it's Nega Balan!" This is a gentleman whose voice can travel distances. It can travel miles. If he laughs, you can hear it all the way in China. That's how loud he is. And my family was upstairs, and they didn't hear the "it's" or Balan of that. They just heard him screaming in Nega. A little bit after he left, my sister came up to me and said, "Why was your friend screaming the N-word?" And I explained to her, no, he wasn't screaming the N-word. He was commenting that one of the characters in the game we were playing is a negative version of a different character. Like, Nega Balan. That made it worse. This guy with this crisp, solid character design, guess what his name is? And granted, I did not find this out by playing the game. I found this out because I was trying to find an image of him. This dude, his name is Lance. They named this character Lance. In before, all of the Lance apologists are like, no, Lance isn't a lame name. Okay, no, Lance is not a real name. Lance is a filler name. This majestic beast does not deserve to be called Lance. As soon as I saw his name was Lance, my Kingdom Hearts brain kicked in, and I was like, Balan is an inverted Lance. Lance is an inverted Balan. Darkness spells no harm. Yang, Balan and Lance are unreal letters of Balan. Oh my God. Holy shit. Mom! Mom! But no, it's worse than that. Balance. Balance. You know what? Screw it. I'm adopting him. He's mine now. His new name is Evilicious, and he is my son. You wouldn't say anything bad about my son, would you? From henceforth, I will be referring to my son by his true name, Evilicious, and I would really appreciate it if those of you talking about him in the comments do the same. We don't like to use his dead name anymore, and he's trying to distance himself from his traumatic past. And I would like all of you to respect that and respect his wishes. Please be a little bit sensitive. This is a very sensitive topic for him, okay? So, after completing 12 areas of Balan Wonderworld, for reasons unbeknownst to me, the Door of Darkness appears. Through it lies the Evilicious boss fight. You have no costumes upon entering this area. You have to use your limited supply of costumes in your wardrobe that you have acquired throughout various levels of this game to fight the boss. Every time you lose, you get sent back to the Isle of Sims, and the 3 costumes that you equipped before the boss fight are out of your inventory. So you have to go back and replay previous levels to have enough costumes in your wardrobe to fight Vioma, okay? The game won't let you fight him without costumes. Once in the boss fight, if you get hit 3 times, each time you get hit, you lose a costume. If you get hit 3 times and lose all your costumes, Vioma will nuke the entire stage and send you back to the Isle of Sims to think about the futility of your actions, because nothing in this world has meaning, not even the fiction we create. My friend, ASimpleMan, and I, when we were initially playing this, we thought we could beat it in like 4th or 5th try. It wouldn't be that hard, it'd be pretty easy. So we tried to record our gameplay, and some of you might have noticed that a stream that was not supposed to be streamed started. Yeah, that was us attempting to record footage for this video. So we thought that we would be able to beat it, and then we'd have it on camera and it'd be real cute and everything. That was not the case. I have footage of myself crying out of frustration because we couldn't beat my boy Vioma. You okay? No, I'm not. And it was less the boss fight itself. It's that every time you get close, you have to go back and get more costumes. Vioma has 2 phases. The first of which is just Vioma doing menacing shadow darkness crap. Standard Kingdom Hearts boss fight. We've all fought him. We all know what's up. The second phase, Vioma turns into a dragon, and what a majestic beast he is. Look at him. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, this dragon face. Oh, hi, Dad. There he is. There he goes. Okay. This dragon face, after you beat him as a dragon, right, you are supposed to go up his tail and then bop him on the head. First time players of this boss fight don't really know that because it's very unclear, and if you run up the wrong side of him, you can't actually climb up of him. So, imagine being really bad at this boss fight, thinking that you're like, oh boy, final phase, I'm gonna hit him. And then when you hit him, it's in the middle of some weird animation, and you hit a hitbox and die. That's what happened to me, and at that point, I kind of gave up. As I was in the editing process, I was ranting about this game on the phone to a friend, right? And this friend decided to inform me that most of the plot of this game is included not in the game itself, but in the manual. For the life of me, I don't know where I put that godforsaken game, but let's pretend minding me opening it. I opened up the case and I couldn't find a manual. So I went onto the Square Enix website looking for the digital manual. I didn't find that, but I did find the website, and boy, it gives a lot of insights. So this is plot part 2.
Here we go.
I like how Tim is just Tim. We don't care about Emma. I'm gonna click Leo Craig and see what's up with him. A 15, wait.
It looks so much worse when the model pops up. Ah!
Look, I don't normally
just,
say this,
straight out of the blender.
but I wish this guy had 3 fingers instead of 4. Several years ago, he had a big argument with his best friend, and he's preferred being alone ever since. None of this.
How long ago was this? How long is several years ago?
He's 15, so probably 6 months.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's several years. Yeah.
Balan, a child predator. I mean,
Enigmatic maestro who guides Leo and Emma to Wonderworld. Those who see him never tire of his unexpected and he never fucking shows up!
Hold on, isn't he just Michael Jackson?
how dare you?
He literally guides Leo and Emma to Neverland, Wonderland, whatever. It's the same thing.
Stop!
He's a child predator, you know. It's unclear what race he is.
He tramps visitors to Wonderworld within their own hearts to create monsters out of negativity.
That's really cool.
This would have been something kind of important to tell us. Yeah. The Grim Creeper. You know, I could have gone my entire life without knowing that this thing is named the Grim Creeper, but at least it's not the Spellican, so...
More rubbish, always piss. These blasted kids and their newfangled dirt. Oh, that looks way better.
This fills me with indescribable rage.
It's a vacuum.
Hooverton from Hoover, the Hooverville, because it's full of trash.
Oh, I was thinking the Hoover.
That too.
Both. It's a double bad pun. His name's not actually here.
What?
He's seen by no one. No one knows his name.
It's me, editor Evilicious again, and look what I just discovered. The website doesn't exist anymore. Okay, I guess it is. Nope, if you click it. So you can search it and find it, but if you click it, it takes you back to the homepage. It's been 2 weeks since I recorded the previous parts of this video. And in that time, I have slowly gone insane. Balan Wonderworld has consumed my every waking thought. When I get up in the morning, I think Balan Wonderworld. When I go to bed at night, I think Balan Wonderworld. Even in my dreams, I cannot escape. Balan Wonderworld has become a part of me, and I wish it hadn't. I wouldn't wish this upon anyone because it is truly, truly hell. Like, I can like unironically feel myself mentally declining, my mental health just going downhill. It's all because of this stupid game. After trial and trial and trial and trial and trial and error, upon error, upon error, upon error, I gave up. I couldn't do it anymore. I could not beat Vilma. It was too much. It was too difficult for me. I am not the gamer that I claim to be. And this boss was really glitchy. And I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. But I could not leave the game unfinished. My journalistic integrity demands that I finish this game before I publish or post this review. It would be dishonest for me to make a video and post it and share my opinions about this game, especially my opinions about the plot of this game or lack thereof, without finishing the fucking game. That would be dishonest. That would not be cool. That would be a disservice to both myself and everybody watching this, and I could not do that. I had no choice but to call in the big guns. One of my friends is something of a master of not great video games, and I called him over and asked him for his assistance. He beat the boss fight on his second attempt. Meanwhile, me, playing as player 2, somehow glitched out in the middle of the in the middle of the game. So my player 2 character is just stuck there, just chilling. As I fought Vile again and again and again, the only thing that pushed me forward was the thought that maybe, just maybe, he would start dancing. I needed to see him boogie. You know nothing else about me, know this. I enjoy a good CGI dance. It's pretty good. So, to my disappointment, after beating this boss, spending 10 hours of my life attempting to fight this guy, you'll never guess what happens. He becomes deified. And he just yeets off into the aether. So after my beautiful son, Vile Malicious, disappeared into the aether, some shit happened.
What the fuck is this baby
Dancing.
video nightmare?
The dance number just keeps on going and going and going.
Look, this person went to Cirque du Soleil once and wanted to really make a video game about the entire performance.
After they dance for what seems like an eternity, all of the supporting cast thanks Balan, which, why? He didn't do anything. He showed up at the beginning of the game and then didn't appear again until the end of the game, so good job, Balan, you did it. Same energy. So and then they all go their separate ways, except for our two protagonists. Our protagonist and his gender-bent variant are like, we don't want to go. But Balan's like, shh, my children, come here, now leave. And after he makes them leave, then Balan cries a tear. The tear goes through his hat, as tears tend to, crystallizes. Then Balan does a little twirl, and
He's been gentrified.
Oh, he's actually a good looking model, but where did his dress go?
exactly! Exactly! One of two things happened here. One, with the magic of friendship, we cured Balan of his blackness, and now he's some white twig.
Oh my God.
Or
No,
two, option number 2, he was wearing blackface this entire time. No wonder he got cancelled in 2021.
Yeah.
walk by somebody and do a backflip, I would feel threatened.
Look at his eyebrows. He's like, hey, I could do that all the time. You want to go?
This is Joey Salad's sexual predator energy.
Yeah, I would just leave. I'd just get up and
Yeah,
go somewhere else.
Fuck.
Yeah, me too. Same.
He found the other autist. Let's go.
The credits finally, blessedly begin to roll. And as they rolled, I noticed that I recognized a few of the names in the credits. God damn it! Day 65. If you've made it this far, congratulations. You now understand a fraction of the amount that I have suffered. I started recording yesterday, thinking that as a means of, I got all dolled up and I started recording yesterday as a means of motivating myself to finish the game. But then, to my horror, I got soft locked out of the game. I am unable to complete 2 of the levels. This godforsaken hellscape. So, one of the levels requires you... One of the levels requires the train ability, right? I had the train ability. I had multiple little train hats, right? But then I fell off the rails, and I since the game doesn't let you replay levels more than twice, I was unable to go back to the beginning of the level that gives you the train ability to get the train. The only way I can complete this game and finish all 12 of these extra levels is by starting over, playing the entire thing over again. Because the stupid game soft-locked me. I'm laughing, but it's not funny. It's sad. I'm laughing to keep from crying. Jesus Christ. I went to sleep last night hoping that when I woke up, it would all be a bad dream. And I'd be able, and I was hoping that when I went to sleep, I'd wake up and and all of it would be a bad dream. And I wasn't soft locked out of the game. That wasn't the case. This game screwed me over. I'll never know if Lance dances. I'll never know. I'm someone that, if I can enjoy something, I don't feel like I'm wasting my time. But this is the first game I have ever played to completion. I'm sorry, to almost completion that I felt like was a waste of time. And I'm done. This is it. This is my review of Balan Wonderworld. Oh, this is not a game I'd recommend. The only way to break the curse was to transfer it to someone else. And so, our story ends as it began, at GameStop, where I went to release Balan Wonderworld back into the wild. If you like this video, remember to smash that motherfucker. What? Yeah? One sec. Hello? No. Anything but this. Anything but this.
There's no escape until you finish the game.
No.